Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the subcommittee. As you indicated, my name is Lisa Feldt. I'm the Deputy Assistant Administrator for the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency Office of Solid Waste and Emergency Response. Thank you for the opportunity to testify today on EPA's coal combustion residuals. I'll try to stay away from the acronyms. Regulatory development activities. I will summarize my testimony, but I ask that my entire written statement be submitted for the record. Let me start by saying that we understand there are differences of opinion regarding how to regulate coal combustion residuals, or CCRs as we commonly refer to them. I can assure you that we want to strike the right balance. We want to get this right. We must base our decisions and foundation in the law and the science. We must provide protection to human health and the environment in a way that also takes into account the significant environmental and economic benefits of beneficial use of CCRs, or coal combustion residuals. EPA Administrator Lisa Jackson has indicated her support for continued safe, beneficial use as we evaluate CCR regulatory options for safely managing the disposal of the coal combustion residuals in our rulemaking effort. We seek a national dialogue on EPA's proposal for addressing the risk, as we do in all our rulemaking efforts, for addressing the risk of managing CCRs under the Resource Conservation and Recovery Act. During the development of our proposal, Administrator Jackson and Assistant Administrator for Solid Waste and Emergency Response, Maddie Stanislaus, met with representatives from the states, from businesses, including those who beneficially use CCRs and are on some of them on your next panel, and many environmental groups, as well as local communities, including in a good faith effort to help get the data and information needed to strike the right balance in our rulemaking effort. We want to ensure that our ultimate decision, and let me say our ultimate decision, we have made no decision yet, is based on the best available science and data and is taken with the fullest possible extent of public input. While our efforts are underway, I am mindful of the importance of allowing the rulemaking process to run its course, of waiting for the expected wide range of public comments, and not appear to prejudging the issues associated with this complex rulemaking. Therefore, I may not be able to answer all the questions you have to me, so that we allow that process to continue. Regarding EPA's proposal, we have two alternative regulatory options and are currently taking comment on a wide cross-section of issues. I would like to stress that under both regulatory approaches proposed by EPA, the agency would leave in place the current exemption for beneficial use of CCRs, and thus would not alter the regulatory status of CCRs that are beneficially used. Large quantities of CCRs are beneficially used today in concrete, cement, wallboard, and other contained applications that EPA believes would not involve exposure to the public to unsafe contaminants. Responsible, environmentally sound, beneficial uses of CCR conserve resources, reduce greenhouse gas emissions, lessen the need for waste disposal units, and provide significant domestic economic benefits. We are seeking comment in the rule on all forms of beneficial use, as we have heard many different viewpoints. We remain committed to encouraging environmentally sound, beneficial use of coal combustion residuals. CCRs that are disposed of, though, are one of the largest waste streams generated in the United States. CCRs contain constituents such as arsenic, cadmium, and mercury, which can pose threats to public health and the environment if improperly managed and disposed. Thus, proper management of these waste streams, not the beneficial use of CCRs, but the waste streams that are disposed of, is essential to protecting public health and the environment. Prior to our recent regulatory proposal, EPA, as has been acknowledged here, has had a long history of regulatory efforts regarding CCRs. In May 2000, EPA issued its regulatory determination that CCRs did not warrant regulation as a hazardous waste under Subtitle C of RCRA. EPA also concluded at that time that federal regulations as a non-hazardous waste under Subtitle D of RCRA was appropriate. With respect to beneficial uses, EPA determined that the beneficial use of CCRs did not pose a risk that required federal regulation. Since EPA's May 2000 determination, we have continued to gather additional information that supports the need for regulation of CCR disposal. The catastrophic failure of the Tennessee Valley Authority surface impoundment retaining wall in Kingston, Tennessee in December 2008, and the release of more than 5 million cubic yards of coal ash to the Emory and Clinch rivers and surrounding areas has highlighted this issue for all of us. EPA determined that regulatory efforts had to be designed to also prevent future catastrophic releases, as well as preventing other types of environmental damage associated with the disposal of CCRs in landfills and surface impoundments. As I mentioned before, EPA's proposal issued on June 21st of this year includes two options. One alternative would list CCR when destined for disposal in landfills or surface impoundments as special waste subject to regulation under Subtitle C of RCRA, which would create a comprehensive program of federally enforceable regulations. Under the second alternative, EPA would regulate the disposal of CCR under Subtitle D of RCRA as a solid waste by issuing national minimum criteria and would be enforced through citizen suits or by the states. One of the issues that commenters have raised to EPA is that any regulation of CCRs under Subtitle C of RCRA will impose a stigma on their beneficial use and thus significantly curtail these beneficial uses. EPA has questions regarding this assertion and stated in the preamble to the proposed rule that if Subtitle C of RCRA was selected as the regulatory option, the management and disposal of CCRs would become more expensive and thus beneficial using CCRs would become attractively economically. Past experience with other wastes regulated under RCRA Subtitle C suggests the increased cost of disposal as a result of Subtitle C regulations would create a strong economic incentive for increased beneficial use. However, because this issue has been raised and because EPA strongly supports the environmental sound beneficial use of CCRs, EPA is seeking comment and data on this issue. In closing, I want to assure the members of the subcommittee and all of the witnesses appearing here today that EPA takes the concerns raised about the risk to human health and the environment, the potential impact on businesses large and small, on beneficial use, and a host of other issues regarding our CCR proposal. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That concludes my prepared remarks. I'll be pleased to answer any questions you or the subcommittee members have.
Thank you, Ms. Feldt, for your remarks. Obviously, one of the most important things from this subcommittee is the impact on small businesses.